Good afternoon. Welcome to Zoology first year class. We are in the SAQ's second lesson, structural organization. Inside of that, already we discussed about the coelom and pseudocoelom, and next the types of cartilage we discussed. Next one is the skeletal muscle. Next, we are going to discuss about the next question, the skeletal muscle. Here, the skeletal muscle mainly it is I know. Skeletal muscle present in the, where it is present means where the bones are attached with the muscle, that places they attach with the tendons. Here with the tendons, the muscles are attached with the bone, and the skeletal muscle is mainly useful for the voluntary actions. Here for the voluntary actions, the skeletal muscle mainly helpful. Mainly the skeletal muscles, see this one, skeletal muscles are attached to the bones by tendons. Here next, the skeletal muscles are having the number of the long cylindrical structures are present. They are unbranched. Here, see this one, skeletal muscle consisting of the many long cylindrical unbranched muscle fibers are present. Here, this is the one fiber. Here already as discussed, see this one. Here the muscle is present. This muscle, inside of the muscle, this one is, for example, this one is the muscle. Inside of the muscle, number of bundles are present, small, the sub bundles are present. These bundles are called as a fascicle. The inside these fascicles are covered by the these are the fascicles. Means the number of muscle fibers are combined and form it as a one bundle that we called as a fascicle. Here that we call as a fascicle. All the fascicles are combined and form it as the epimycin is present inside the surrounding outside of the muscle. Epimycin is surrounded, and each and every fiber we are taking, that is a cylindrical one and unbranched. See this one, that only the muscle is attached to the bone. The skeletal muscle consisting of the many long cylindrical unbranched muscle fibers are there. They are not having the branches. Next, the skeletal muscle fiber is surrounded by the connective tissue sheath that we call as a endomysium. Here, this one is there. The line is there. That line is called as a muscle fiber that is surrounded by the membrane that we call as the endomysium. The line, this line is surrounded by the membrane. That membrane is called as a endomysium. Here, next, a bundle of muscle fibers is called as a fascicle. Already I said the bundle of the muscle bundle is called as a fascicle. Fascicle. Each fascicle is surrounded by the connective tissue sheath that we call as a perimysium. Observe here, the one line is surrounded by the membrane that is called as a endomysium. The endomysium is surrounded by the number of fibers are surrounded by this one that is called as a perimysium, and the outer is called as a epimysium. See this one, only one muscle fiber is surrounded by the endomysium. Bundle, each and every bundle is surrounded by the perimysium. The total muscle is surrounded by the epimysium. See this one, I'll explain. Each bundle of muscle fibers are called as a fascicle. Each fascicle is surrounded by the connective tissue sheath called perimysium. Next, a group of the perimycin form it as the muscle. Here, a group of all the perimysiums combine and form it as a muscle sheath. Here, next, the muscle is surrounded by the connective tissue sheath that we call as a epimysium. This one is called as a epimysium. Muscle, all the bundles are surrounded by membrane that we call as a epimysium. Bundle is surrounded by that we call as a perimysium. Only the fiber is surrounded that we call as the endomysium. Here three layers are present. The fiber is surrounded by membrane is called as the epimysium. Here, sorry, endomysium. All the fibers are combined and formed as a bundle that is covered by the perimysium. All the bundles are covered by the one membrane that we call as a epimysium. Like this, inside of the muscle, the layers three are present. Next, the connective tissue layer form the tendon by which the muscles are attached to the skeleton. Means with the connective tissue, the outer connective tissue, they are attached with the bone by the tendons. Here, next, structure of the skeletal muscle, how it is there means. A skeletal muscle is a long cylindrical. It is a long cylindrical unbranched cell. Here, long cylindrical unbranched cell. Skeletal muscle fiber we are taking. What is the internal structure of the skeletal muscle fiber we are going to discuss? It is the multinucleated. Means at the periphery, the number of nuclei is present. That's why we call as this one is called as a multinucleated. Here, the are also called as a syncytium. That multinucleated is also called as a syncytium, and nuclei is periphery. The sides they are present. That's why nuclei is periphery, and the protoplasm inside the plasm is there. Inside of the skeletal muscle, the plasm is there. That we call as a, instead of protoplasm, inside of the muscle we call it as a sarcoplasm. Here, the inside of the muscle fiber, the liquid the protoplasm is present. That protoplasm is called as a sarcoplasm, and having the number of myofibrils, thin structures are present. Muscle fiber is inside also. The microstructures are present. They are called as a myofibrils. Here, myofibrils. Each myofibril has a alternate dark and light bands. Each myofibril has a alternate dark and light band. Then hence they are called as a striped muscle. Here the dark and light bands are visible. The arrangement of the actin and myosin filaments, the dark and light bands like this, they are arranged, formed. That's why we call it stripes. It is looking like a stripe. That's why we call it a striped muscles. Here the skeletal muscle contract quickly and fatigue quickly. For example, voluntary, immediately they can contact. Quickly they can relax. That's what. Next, the satellite cells help in the regeneration, and help in the regeneration of these cells. The satellite cells are mainly helpful. Here, I will draw the diagram about the skeletal muscle. I'm take the separate screen and I'll draw the diagram. See this one, skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle fiber. See this one is the outer side, the layer is present. That is called as a sarcolemma. Next, inside of that, the thin layers are present. They are called as the myofibrils are present. they are having the dark and light bands, and the plasm is there, protoplasm is there, that we call as a sarcoplasm. Yeah, this one is a sarcolemma. Outer layer, instead of plasma lemma, here we call it as a sarcolemma. Next, the plasm is there, the center, like a protoplasm, that is called as a sarcoplasm. Next, these are called as a myofibrils. Microfibrils are there, they are called as a myofibrils are present. And also here the endoplasmic reticulum is present. That is this endoplasmic reticulum is present, that we call as a sarcoplasmic reticulum. In this, the muscle, that is called as a sarcoplasmic reticulum. Sarcoplasmic reticulum. And also inside of that, the mitochondria is also present inside of the muscle. That mitochondria we call as a, the instead of mitochondria, here we call as a sarcosome. Sarcosome. Here, next here, these with this, they are appeared like a, the dark means inside of the myofibrils, they are having the number of actin and myosin filaments. With that, they are looking like a stripes, the light, dark, the lines will be visible. That's why the skeletal muscles we called as a striped muscles. Here, striped muscles. With our animal conscious, they can work. That's why we call it as a voluntary muscles. These are called as a voluntary muscle. Means with animal conscious, they can move. That's why we call it as a the voluntary muscle. Clear? This one is about the skeletal muscle. This one is also important. Next, next we are going to discuss about the next one, that is called as a cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle. Where it is present, mainly the cardiac muscle is present inside of the next we are going to discuss about the cardiac muscle. Wait some time. అలానే అంటున్నా మేడం. అక్కడక్కడ అది అయితే Great. करो करो. हाँ. Next is the cardiac muscle. The muscles are mainly the three types are there. The skeletal muscle, the smooth muscle and cardiac muscle. Already we discussed about the skeletal muscle. Next one is the smooth muscle is not important. So that's why I take the next one is the cardiac muscle. Clear? The cardiac muscle is called as a heart muscle that is present inside of the heart. That's why we call as a cardiac muscle is called as a heart muscle. That is also called as a myocardium. Here, the myocardial cells are the short and cylindrical. Before that, the skeletal muscles are long, cylindrical, and branched. But here the branched. Here, the myocardial cells are short, cylindrical, mononucleated, and the striated. The mono before that, the multinucleated, the skeletal muscle, they are having the number of nuclei is present. But in this, myocardial cells means cardiac muscle is called the myocardial cells. They are short, cylindrical, mononucleated, and the stripes are present. The same like a skeletal muscles, here also the stripes are present. What's the difference means they are not having the branches, but these are having the branches. Clear? Like this. Next is these muscle fibers are branched. Here branches are present. Before that, skeletal muscle is a single one only that is not getting the branches. Next, the muscle cells are connected with the gap junctions. This is one cell and this is one cell. They are connected with the junctions that we call as a gap junctions. Between them, the connection is there. That is by the gap junctions. Here, what is the use of the gap junction means the easily action potential is quickly they transmit through the one muscle fiber to another muscle fiber. Here, quick conduction of the electrical impulses, that one is useful. Which one? Gap junctions between the cardiac muscles or cardiac muscle fiber are also called as a myocardial cells. They are having the junctions are there, that is called as a gap junctions. With that, easily they transmit the electrical, quickly they are transmit the electrical impulses. Next, there are dark lines are present here. Here, see, observe here in the diagram is here. Diagram is here. It is a black color. The lines are there now. They are called as the intercalated discs. In the skeletal muscles also dark and light bands are present, not line. Here it is they are lines, dark lines are present. That we called it as a intercalated disc. The special character in this one, intercalated discs. Intercalated discs are present means the between the striations, the dark lines are present. They are called the intercalated discs. This is a special character in the cardiac muscle. Intercalated discs are visible easily. We can identify as that is the cardiac muscle. Here, next the characterized of the heart. Here, heart muscle. Next, these discs are held. What is the use of this disc means the rapid conduction of the electrical impulse. Here they are already the gap junctions are there for the transmitting. Additionally, here the intercalated discs also present. With that intercalated discs, the rapid conduction is occur. The resulting of the continuous heartbeat is occur. Here, next the heartbeat, the contraction of the muscles is involuntary, carried by the pacemaker. That is involuntary. Before the skeletal muscle is the voluntary. With animal conscious, they can move. But the heart, without animal conscious, they can work. They are the involuntary. Here, these are involuntary. And that heartbeat is mainly controlled by the pacemaker. Which pacemaker is present? sinoatrial node. In the atria, the node is present that we call as a sinoatrial node, that is called as a pacemaker. That pacemaker is generating the action potential. With that action potential only, the heart is every time contracts and relax. Here, next, the rate of the heartbeat is under the control of autonomous nervous system. This is the under controlling of the already we discussed central nervous system, autonomous nervous system. Next, the rate of the heartbeat is under the controlling of the not the central autonomous nervous system, and also that is controlled by the two hormones. They are called as a epinephrine or the epinephrine and adrenaline. Sometimes it is also controlled by the norepinephrine or noradrenaline. Here, the adrenaline or epinephrine is called as a fight hormone, fight and flight hormones. Here, they increase the rate, increase the heart rate. Epinephrine is increasing the heart rate. Norepinephrine is the controlling, means they are slow down the heart rate. That's why the rate of the heartbeat is controlled by two. One is by the autonomous nervous system. One is by the hormone like a epinephrine or adrenaline. Next, the cardiac muscles are highly resistant to fatigue, means they are not taking the rest every continuously rhythmically. They are working. They are not the highly resistant to the fatigue. Next is the cardiac muscle is the muscle is a functional sensation, means the see this one group, one bunch of the fibers are formed like this. That's why we call it as a, that is called as a one group of the muscles are working one particular function. That's why we call it as a functional sensation. See this one here, observe the diagram. This one is the fibers. The fibers are having the number of branches are there. The branches are interconnected by the gap junctions as well as intercalated discs are there. What is the use of the gap junctions and intercalated discs? Means they are continuously for the giving of the action potential or electrical impulse purpose. The two are helpful. They are called as a the gap junction intercalated discs as well as the gap junctions. Clear? Next, this is the cardiac muscle fiber. The cardiac muscle cell having the only the nucleus is the only one nucleus is present inside of that mononucleate, and the stripe means same like a striated muscle. Stripes are visible. Here, this is about the cardiac muscle. This one is also very, very important. Next, we are going to discuss about the one more. Next is the multipolar neuron. Next is the structure of multipolar neuron. Here the next one is the structure of multipolar neuron. Here it is the unipolar, bipolar, multipolar neurons are present. It is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Neurons are the actually the structural, functional and structural units of the nervous system. These are mainly three types are there: unipolar, bipolar, and the multipolar neurons. Unipolar means the axon is present, that we call as a unipolar. Bipolar means they are having the cell body is having the one axon and one dendrite. That's why we call as a bipolar. Here, this one is called as a multipolar. Cyton is having the means the cell body are also called as cyton is having the number of branches are there. This why here it is a short branch is there and also long branches are there. That's why this is called as a multipolar neuron. Here, these multipolar neurons are mainly present inside of the central nervous system, means brain, and the spinal cord is having the multipolar neurons. The multipolar neurons are again two types are there: myelinated multipolar neuron and the non-myelinated multipolar neurons. The myelin sheath surrounding of the axon, the myelin sheath is present, that we call as a myelinated multipolar neuron. The myelin sheath surrounding of the axon, myelin sheath is absent, that we call as a non-myelinated multipolar neurons. Where it located means in the central nervous system. The white matter means the brain is having the outer side is having the white matter is present. The outer side is called as having the gray matter. The center is having the white matter is present. Center is having the white matter is present, and here the outer side, the gray matter is having the non-myelinated neurons are present. In the center, it is having the myelinated neurons are present. White matter every time having the myelinated neurons. Gray matter is having the non-myelinated. In the spinal cord, opposite. In the spinal cord, what it is in the center, gray matter is present. The outside, the white matter is present. Here, everywhere the gray matter is present. That place, non-myelinated multipolar neurons are present. Where white matter is present, that place, the myelinated neurons are present. Here, see here, the multipolar neurons are the common neurons of the body. The multipolar neurons are having the, what is the structure of the multipolar neurons means that is having the mainly three structures are present. They are called as the first one is called as a cyton. The cell-like structure is there na, that we call as a cell body, or also called as a cyton, or also called as a perikaryon. Here, this is having the cell, first one is cell body. Next, from the cell body, number of short branches are arise. These branches is called as a dendrites. Here, the short branches arise, that we call as a dendrite. Only one long branch is arise down, that we call as a axon. Here, like this, the neuron is having the three main parts are present. They are called as a cell body, the dendrites, and the axons. Here, what about the dendrites? First, we discuss about the cell body. What is a cell body means? It is also called it as a cyton or soma, or also called as a perikaryon. This part we called as a cyton, or also called as a soma, or also called as a perikaryon. Inside of the cyton, which structures are present means it includes the Nissl granules, the rough endoplasmic reticulum. RER means rough endoplasmic reticulum, that is form it as a granules. Number of granules are there. These granules we call as a Nissl granules. See this one here, the form it as a Nissl granules. Nissl granules. Here, the dotted structures are there. They are called as a Nissl granules. They are made up of with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. And for the what is the use of that means the Nissl granules are mainly useful for the protein synthesis. Here, protein synthesis they are useful. Next, it contains the larger spherical nucleus. Inside of that, the nucleus is also present inside of the cytoplasm. Here, the cell body is having the inner side is having the cytoplasm is present, and cytoplasm is having the Nissl granules are present. These Nissl granules are made up of with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. They are helpful for the protein synthesis. And the center of the cell body, the nucleus is present. This is about the cell body. And also the granules, along with the granules, neurofibrils and lipofuscin cells are present inside of this one. Clear? Next is the dendrites. Second one is the dendrites. they are the short from the Saitan, which branches are shortly arise, that we call as a short branched processes which arise from the cell body is called as a dendrites. They contain nissal granules and the neurofibrils. Here they contain only the nissal granules and the neurofibrils are present. Here next they conduct the impulse towards the cell body. From outside they can take and towards the cell body they conduct the impulse. Here next this one is about the dendrites. Next one is the axon. The axon is a long structure. This one is a down. It is called as a long structure. This axon is covered by the membrane. Outer membrane is called as a axolemma. Here this is called as a axolemma. Axolemma. The plasm is there. Inside of that, the plasm is there. That we call as a axoplasm. Here, the cell body, it is having the long structure is arise from the cell body or also called as cyton, that we call as the axon. Axon is covered by the membrane that we call as the axolemma. Inside the plasm is there, that we call it as a axoplasm. Here, next it is a cylindrical. It is a cylindrical like structure arise from the cell body, and the junction between the cell body and the axon is called as this part is called as a axon hillock. Here, axon, the connection between the axon hillock. The junction between the cyton and the axon, that we call it as a axon hillock. The plasma lemma of the already we discussed. The plasma lemma of the axon is called as the axolemma. Next, the cytoplasm is called as a axoplasm. Clear? This one is about the structure of with this we completed the second lesson SAQs. The next we are going to discuss about the next one, animal diversity one, the SAQs. The first one is called as a anthozoans, the general characters of anthozoans. Next, they are commonly called as a first the general characters of anthozoans. In the animal diversity, all included the invertebrates. It is belongs to the anthozoa, is belongs to the Cylindrata, and the one class is there that is called as the anthozoa. These anthozoans are the commonly called as a sea anemones. Common name of the anthozoans is called as a sea anemones, and they are the sedentary and the marine. Marine means they are present in the muddy water or salt water. They are present. That's why we call it as a marine, and they attach to the one substratum. That's why we call it as a sedentary animals. Clear? They are the sedentary animals and the marine animals. Next, they are having the only polyform. Normally, the Nidaria or Cylindrata animals are having the metagenesis is occur. Means in the lifetime they are having the two forms are there. One is called as a polyp, another one is called as a medusa. They are having the two forms are there. The what about the polyp means the polyp is the cylindrical in structure. They are like this. They are cylindrical in structure. And what about the medusa means the medusa is the umbrella shape. Is having the umbrella shape. Here like this, they are having the umbrella shape that we call as a medusa. All the cnidarian animals, anthozoans are belongs to the Coelenterata. Another name of Coelenterata is called as a cnidaria. Under the cnidaria, anthozoa is the one class. Inside of this, the animals are having the two forms are there. One is called as a polyp form, another is called as a medusa form. Here, the inside of the anthozoa, only polyp form is present in the life cycle, no medusa form. Here, next see this one, medusa stage is absent, polyp stage only present. There are only the polyp form in the life cycle, medusa stage is absent. Normally, in the cnidaria animals are having the two forms are there, but in this, only the polyp form is present, the medusa form is absent. Next is the cnidocytes. Listen clearly, the cnidocytes are the stinging cells. These stinging cells are occur in the ectoderm as well as endoderm. For example, this one is the sea anemone. I will draw here, see this one. This one is the sea anemone. This is the example for this. The sea anemone is present. In this, the outer layer means the ectoderm as well as endoderm. Both of them are containing the special cells are present. They are called as a cnidocytes. See silent here. Here it is the cnidocytes are present. These cnidocytes are stinging cell. For the protection purpose, they are helpful. Here for the prey purpose, this one is cnidocytes are mainly helpful, and special is cnidocytes are present. That's why the name of this phylum is also called as a cnidaria. First, before that is a Coelenterata. The ectoderm and endoderm is having the special cells are present, stinging cells are present. They are needle-like cells are present. That we call as a cnidocytes. That's why the name is cnidaria. Next is the between the ectoderm and endoderm. Here, these are the diploblastic animals. They are covered by the body is covered by the only two layers. Outer is called as ectoderm and inner is called as a endoderm. Between them, no mesoderm, just mesoglia, gelatinous substance is present. This mesoglia containing the which one? Connective tissue is present. In the mesoglia, connective tissue is present. Next, the germ cells means the gametes are formed by the endoderm. From the endoderm, the gametes are formed. Here, next, they are the advanced cnidarians. Here, this one is about the anthozoa. Here, anthozoa is the one class under the cnidaria. They are commonly simple. It is called as a sea anemones. And how it is? They are sedentary, means they attach. They are not floating. Just they attach to the one substratum. That's why we call it as a sedentary. Present inside of the salt water. That's why we call it as a marine water, marine animals. And there is only the polyp form in the life cycle. Polyp form only present. Medusa, automatically medusa is absent. The special character what it is? The cnidocytes. Cnidocytes are occur in the ectoderm as well as endoderm. Both the layers are having the cnidocytes. They are for the protection purpose. They are useful. And mesoglia containing the connective tissue. And the gametes or germ cells are formed by the endoderm. They are the advanced cnidarians. Example is the Adamsia. I draw the diagram now, that only. Adamsia are also called as a sea anemone and commonly called as a sea anemone. Gorgonia. This is commonly called as a sea fan, and the pennatula. It is looking like a pen, that's why we call it as a sea pen. Here, this one is about the anthozoa. This is the first one, animal diversity 1. Next is the Platyhelminthes. Under the Platyhelminthes class, one is important that we called as a here the flukes. Here the what are the what is the class which the flukes belongs to? Write the notes. Means this is mainly belongs to the Trematoda class. Class Trematoda. It is belongs to class Trematoda. Under the Platyhelminthes, the class is a that we call as a Trematoda. See this one, liver flukes are the class of Trematoda. Phylum is Platyhelminthes. Here, next they are commonly we call as a flukes. All the flukes are parasites. They are depend on the host. That's why we call as a they are present in the ecto or endoparasite. Means majorly they are endoparasite. Teniasolium. Teniasolium is also belongs to the Platyhelminthes. Fasciola hepatica, they are also belongs to the Platyhelminthes. Where they are present, they are living like a parasite, endoparasite. Here, all the flukes are the parasites. The body is covered by the thick tegument. Parasitic adaptations we discussed. Thick tegument for the protection purpose. Surrounding, they are having the thick segments. See this one like this. They are having the thick segments are present. Surrounded by the outer, the protective thick layer is present for the protection from the host digestive enzymes. They are having the tegument is present. Tegument, thick layer of surrounding that we called as a tegument. Here, next is the generally here the two suckers are present. One is the oral. Oral means here one sucker is present. And the other is present here, the ventral. Here like this, the ventrally, one more sucker is present. Next, this one is a digestive digestive tract. Here, like this, body is covered by the thick tegument, and generally two suckers are present. One is present in the oral side, oral sucker. This one is called as the ventral sucker. Ventral sucker. Two suckers are present here. Next, ventral sucker is also called as a acetabulum. Another name of the ventral sucker is called as a acetabulum. And the intestine is bifurcated. See this one. Here the intestine is formed as a two branches. That's why intestine is bifurcated. And the bisexual form means the sexual dimorphism is not present. Means the male female the differentiation is not there. Here that's why called as a bisexual forms. In the life cycle of these animals, the life history, there may be more than one host. Here, means the digenetic, monogenetic we discussed now, it is not present inside of the one host. The total life cycle is not completed in the one host. It requires the number of hosts. Here, not only 2 or 3 hosts are required. That's why it is in the life cycle, there may be more than one host. Here, next one is there are different types of the larval forms are present. Means the polyembryony. Here means they are having it is also one parasitic adaptation. The parasitic adaptations, they are mainly their life cycle is a complex, and they are having the more larval forms are present. Like a Fasciola hepatica is having mainly this one is a Fasciola hepatica. It is having the number of larval forms like a sporocyst, redia, cercaria. Like that, number of larval forms are present in the life cycle. Here, this one is about next example is the Fasciola. Means they are present inside of the liver. That's why we call as a liver fluke. And the cystosoma, this is the blood fluke inside of the blood that is present. That's why we call it a blood fluke. Here, next it is what it is means. It is the mainly general characters of Trematoda. Indirectly, they are giving like this. Trematoda general characters. The question they are giving indirectly like this. What is the class to which the flukes are belongs? Write the short notes of that one. Here, commonly called as flukes, and they are belongs to Trematoda and the phylum Platyhelminthes. All are parasites only. The body is covered by thick tegument. Thick tegument is present. They are having the two suckers are present. Attaching purpose for the attaching to the host. The two suckers are there. One is present on the oral side. Another is present in the ventral side. Ventral one is called as a acetabulum. Next, the intestine. The mouth is opens into the intestine, stomach and intestine. The intestine is having the two branches are there. That's why we call it a bifurcated. Next, here the sexual dimorphism is absent. That's why these are called as a bisexual forms. Next, the life history may be completed more than one host. Here, next, there are different types of larval stages are there. The which stages? Almost the example miracidium, sporocyst, rhidia, and cercaria. Like that, number of larval forms are present. This is having the complex life cycle is present. Examples are the fasciola and the cystosoma. Here, this one is about the, in this animal diversity one, we discuss about the anthozoa. Anthozoa belongs to the phylum Nidaria. Next, we discuss about the next phylum, Platyhelminthes under the Strematoda. Next, important is the the Polychaeta is there, and the Polychaeta general characters and arachnoid general characters, and the next one is the crustaceans and echinoids. These are the most important general characters. This is the simple one. No diagrams will be there. Easily you can write it this one. From this animal diversity compulsorily one question will be there, and you prepare for this one. And tomorrow we continue with the animal diversity one SAQs. The same time tomorrow, same time. This class will be there to attend.